especially on secondary roads and sidewalks, with the low getting down to 26. A mostly cloudy and chilly day to kick off the weekend Saturday, the high 39, but then a warming trend kicks off Sunday. Mostly sunny, milder with the high up to 49. Monday, plenty of sun, the high 55, and partly sunny, pleasantly warm Tuesday, the high 69. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Live from the studios of News Talk 1480 WHBC, it's Kenny and JT.
And welcome back to the Kenny and JT Show. We love Fridays this time of the year, especially because that means there's a Pro Football Hall of Famer in town as part of the Hall of Fame residency program, and one of their stops, we're lucky enough to be that stop right here at WHBC. And joining us today, man, you talk about a target for a quarterback to throw to from the Philadelphia Eagles, Hall of Fame class 2020, the first football card I ever had as a kid growing up, Harold Carmichael.
And that wasn't my rookie card either.
Oh, great to see you. Great to meet you. Welcome to WHBC. How are you?
Great being here in the city. I've been here a day and a half now and just really enjoying it. You're being around with Hayden here. He's been awesome. And, being back to the Hall of Fame, I'm like a kid in a candy store, man. I'm so happy to be able to spend the time, doing some of the community visiting, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, we're spoiled. I feel like we've already had the interview because I got you out front in the studio here about 20 minutes ago, so I've already asked as many questions that I want to. But there are so many memories that come back when we think about the great Harold Carmichael. But the main thing is this. Are you the tallest wide receiver that ever played in the NFL?
Well, that's what they tell me. I haven't seen anybody else to do
6'8".
They got some guys now that's pretty tall. In fact, the Eagles have got Johnny Wilson. He's about 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah. I remember a guy by the name of Ouija Thompson who played for the Steelers, was 6'6", but not quite 6'8". So you that radius, that target, right, for Ron Jaworski, whoever your quarterback was to throw to, he and I were talking on the air a little bit ago, just throw it high, right?
Well, it's a lot to it. You have to get your body right and get it between, the body positioning. And a lot of people said, and it used to run me crazy. They say, all you have to do is just throw the ball up.
Right. That's what we think.
Said, man, I had to do some work behind this, But we, with Sid Gilman being the offensive coordinator with Ron Jaworski, he found out a way for us to make some big plays and all. And people would know when we get inside in the red zone, they knew where the ball was coming, and stuff. And they, a couple of times they stopped it, but majority of the times we came up with it.
Get to the corner, man.
Corner.
It's amazing. You come from Southern in Louisiana. Ron Jaworski from Youngstown State. So you got two guys playing in the NFL from smaller schools. How did you guys have success in the NFL?
Well, it's just the size of your heart and what you wanted to do. I feel a lot of people can play the game. I've been talking about it a little bit today, but they're making a game that almost everybody can play now. Back in the day, there was just a few people that were strong enough and had the will enough that played in the NFL, that play football, period, even in the college. It's a violent game, and a really tough game to play back in the day. It's a lot of safety reasons now that they're trying to protect players, which I understand. But how the game was invented and how it was supposed to be played back then. I'm not knocking, the rules and the regulations they have, but a lot of people can play the game now more so than what it was back 40, 50, 60 years ago.
All right, he mentioned Southern, and we had another guy who played his college football at Southern and is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and he happens to be a teammate of yours, Mel Blount, who's about 6'3", 6'4", you're 6'8". What was practice like between you two in college?
For me, it was hell. And I talk about that, and Hayden is, he's heard this 1,000 times in the past couple of days, but Mel Blount, he's the reason I'm wearing this gold jacket, because of what we did in practice every day for 3 years. The guy just put me through so much and worked so hard to, and he was so tough. The little story that I tell, when we were in practice, other wide receivers in practice, when they caught a pass on Mel, he'll two-hand touch them. But when I caught a pass on him, he clotheslined me and forearmed me. And I could, until this day, and I keep telling him about it. I said, but why did you do that? And I always talk about his cousin. He had a first cousin. And he grew up not too far from Jacksonville, Florida, but he had a first cousin. We went from first grade to 12th grade together, elementary to high school. Mm-hmm. And I had a crush on Brenda Blunt, And I said, "Is she the reason why you beat me up like this?" She never said that, that I bother her in anything, but he always laughed about it. But this guy was so tough, and it really, he's one of the reasons I'm here wearing a gold jacket and being here talking to you guys.
But I think, real quick, I think he's in the NFL though. Hall of Fame because of you as well. I think both you guys, iron sharpens iron. I think you're both in here because you brought the best out in each other.
Well, he said that. He said that before. I said, no, he made me more than
okay.
Right. He was just cut to be a defensive back that big and that strong. And, at Southern, we used to call him Farmer. Because he was always around horses and, and farms and all of that and cultivating this and that. But, one of the greatest people I've ever met, and one of the scariest people I've ever met on the football field.
Well, he was a great football player, and I'm sure he played other sports, as you did as well. You got a late start playing football because you were doing track. You were probably doing basketball, too. What was your favorite sport growing up as a kid?
Well, people ask me that. Track was not running. Track was mostly shot put, and everybody's, you're not going to believe this one here. I know I've talked about it, but I used to throw a football 100 yards.
I read that.
And a lot of people believe it, and they thought I could do that with a javelin and other stuff that you throw. But, being skinny, trying to shot put, I was nothing, done anything. But basketball, I told a story about me being in the band and wanted to go into the band. I was the dumbest person in the band and stuff, and after the band director hit me on the top of the head with his baton and stuff, I said, I'll never come back in here again. And so I went on the basketball court and I started playing basketball. But before that, I tried to go out for football. But I went out, but I didn't know you had to get in shape. I got in there and I was just a clown out there. I was throwing up and all of that. But it took me into my 11th grade year being able to make my high school football team. And I was a starting quarterback my senior year. Because they saw how I can throw a football.
Right.
But baseball, most people that was in my neighborhood, they thought I was going to play a baseball player. I had a try with the Pirates, the Pittsburgh Pirates, in the 12th grade.
Wow.
But
high school.
The problem there was I left my baseball cleats at home. And when you come into profession, they hit them shots down there. You're spinning in that clay. I'm trying to get to it. And my head baseball coach, he still hates me to this day, because he said, you could have been a baseball player. And I was playing either third base or first base. And
you're not a pitcher.
No.
Throw a football 100 yards, but not a pitcher.
No,
Can you imagine trying to hit that?
Third base was my position, man.
All right.
No.
And when we play softball, you know how close you play, how close the bases are in softball. I always played about 3 feet in front of the bag because I wanted to see that ball come off the bat. And I had a glove that was gigantic, and that's I think it helped me with my eye-hand coordination and stuff. Playing softball and all that. Helped develop being catching the football. And one of my friends that I grew up with, one of the best quarterbacks I ever played with, he threw my first one-hand touchdown. This was in Sandlock football.
No gloves like they were today.
No. I wore gloves because I know we on radio, but that thumb, you can see how dislocated that. I started wearing gloves because of that, and this little finger and that finger. And there was support for me. It wasn't just to catch the ball, but I designed my glove to where I wanted. After I left the league, they wouldn't do it before I left the league, but I had leather parts and not the sticky stuff. But it wasn't the thing that catching the ball and stuff helped me catch it, but it was something that I wanted in it. And then again, you said help me catch it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I'm wondering because I've met Dr. J before. Okay, Philly guy, you're a Philly guy, right? And I'm looking. Put your hand. Okay, yeah.
The
Ryan, take a picture of that right there. Look at that. Okay, so these are some big mitts, and I'm wondering,
And Dr.
yours?
J's hands are bigger than mine.
No, really?
Yeah, bigger
So
than
yours
mine.
are big.
He had these claws, man. You know, he got some big hands and stuff. You know.
Wow. So, but you're there. Obviously, you get to be in the same city. What was it like? And we want to transition into playing in Philadelphia with the fans and for the Eagles and everything. What was that like?
Okay, well, I want to let people know. You know, they had all these stories and myths about the Eagles snowballing Santa.
Yeah.
Santa was drunk that day, and he's doing the same crazy thing. Yes, everybody started snowballing him because he was not the real Santa. He was drunk, you know. So yeah, everybody threw the snowballs at him and stuff, you know. But one of the greatest places you want to play, I was telling somebody today, Saquon Barkley. Yeah. He cannot spend money in Philadelphia on anything. I don't care if he wanted to buy, some boots or something like that. People are going to make sure he gets what he wants. I mean, I got penalized 15 yards for hurdling. They gave me 15 yards. I said, what should they give him for hurdling, doing it backwards? They should give him 30 for doing it, But, just watching this guy, I mean, he's so exciting. And, the Philadelphia fans deserve this. In my first couple of years with the Eagles, Will was 2-11-1. We couldn't beat our scout team, But now that we start growing, the team start getting better. A little bit with Mike McCormick. You guys probably remember Mike McCormick. And then you had Dick Vermeil came in that really turned us around. And it made us better. And the fan base started getting better, because the fans really, they deserve winners.
Right.
And now, people say, oh, the fan base is bad. No. That stadium holds about 68, 70-some people. Mm-hmm. Now, with about 500 or maybe 1,000 of those people are stupid. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that make the scene, the city, the fan base look bad.
Okay.
It's not the whole.
We'll find that anywhere.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna call them out. But there's some fan bases where I've gone as a player, and then after coming back playing working for the Eagles. There's some fan bases there is really embarrassing. They was embarrassing. Some of the stuff that they said. There's players and coaches, and when the coaches were going through some stuff, they make a platform out of that. Mm-hmm. And when you walk in some places where you had to walk under to get to your locker room, they'll spit at you.
That's terrible.
But and I've been in those environments before. Yeah. But I know the Philly fans are tough, vocal, and they'll say a lot of, but they love their Eagles. Okay. Yeah. And you're playing for, it's a tough city to play for. You got to be good. Yeah. You have to be good, and
they call it like a blue collar town.
Yeah. You got to work, and you just come in there and just mess around. You got to work, and because they're gonna look at you and see if you work playing for Philadelphia, and if you're worth playing for us to root for you.
Okay.
Harold Carmichael is our guest, class of 2020 at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Kenny and myself were lucky enough, honored, I guess I should say, to meet Dick Vermeil. No. And he's become a good friend, and we text back and forth, and when he comes to town, we like to try to get together. So I texted him ahead of our interview today, and I said, Coach, if Harold Carmichael comes in, would you like to maybe say a word or something? So he sent me this back. He said if Harold would have had a real fine head coach, he would have averaged 100-plus receptions a year. And then he said, in all honesty, they don't make him any better than Harold Carmichael. I love this guy. Signed Coach Vermeil.
Oh, yeah. And I feel the same way about him. I've been saying it over the past couple of days. There's guys that'll run through a wall for Dick Vermeil. I'll go through a steel wall for this guy. I'll try.
What was it?
This guy, from now you got to look at the beginning to now. The beginning, you said, what is wrong with this guy? The way we practice, 3 hours each practice, sometimes 3 times a day. What is going on with this guy? Why are we practicing? Mm-hmm. You were dog tired. When Dick Vermeil first came in with the Eagles, there were a team there. He kept 12 guys out of the 50-some players that he had. Only 12 of us to survive them.
Really?
And then he built from that, bringing in people in that he felt that has the Dick Vermeil qualities that he's looking for in building a team. So he brought in people, not a lot of high-round draft choices. We didn't have a number one draft choice for about a couple of years after Dick Vermeil came in there, but we got 5th, 6th, 7th round draft choices came in, and he molded a Super Bowl team out of that. I do a dinner every year for the past 25 years, and Dick Vermeil has been a part of that. Except, but one year we scheduled it, and that was the week that he scheduled to go hunting. He's a big hunter, so that was the one year he didn't come. But we have the Dick Vermeil Award that we give out.
Nice.
To different doctors, or you'll be a doctor, or you be connected in sports some kind of way, and we give out that award, and we give out two $20,000 scholarships every year. Oh, so wow. Dick Vermeil is there, and just playing for this guy was awesome. In the years after Dick Vermeil, you listen at some players that say, man, this head coach don't want family to come around and practice. I love it, and Dick loved family to come around. I loved them to come because I wanted wanted my wife and my kid to see what I did when I was away from home in training camp, and see how hard I had to work for my wife to buy this, my son to ride this and have this. This is what Dick Vermeil wanted the families to see. This is how hard we work, and when he comes home, he's dog tired. He's not going to go out anywhere. He's going to stay home.
That's awesome. We hear nothing but great things about Dick Vermeil.
You won't find a better person. I love the guy, and one thing about Dick, he's gonna keep up with his players. We just lost Bill Berge a couple of months ago, but Dick was there almost every day when he was in the hospital or around and calling him. And, he stayed in touch with a lot of us. And just maybe a couple of hours ago, I got an email, a text from a couple of our teammates that we all together for dinner one time. And that's awesome, And that's what one of the things that the guy said, this is character.
Okay.
And Dick Vermeil always believed so much in character,
How awesome was it to see him, even though it wasn't with the Eagles, but for him to win a Super Bowl? What did that mean to you, even though it was with the Rams, for him to get that ring? And you get one, recently too, when you were working with the Eagles.
Well, I got mine 2 years after I retired, and when the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2017, they gave me a ring too.
Nice.
But to watch Dick Vermeil win a Super Bowl, we'll back up a little bit. When Dick went to St. Louis, he brought Wilbert Montgomery, he had John Bunting, a couple other guys on his coaching staff, and I said, well, and I'm looking on the sideline for me. I said, I should be there too. Why am I not there? And the year after, talking to the coach, and he said, Harold, I would have, but we had your coach Corey. He said I had him, and I had to just keep on. I said, Coach, I understand it, but I just wish that I could have been there with you guys because we have grown so much together and all. But I just wish I could have been there, So he understood he knew that my feelings, but I wanted to be there also.
Right.
But to watch him win a Super Bowl, and even though the stuff that he had to go through to build that team. A lot of guys wanted to, mutiny on him and stuff because his work ethics and stuff was really tough.
So many great memories with Harold Carmichael right now, class of 2020 in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And Kenny, if there could have been a fantasy football league back when he was playing and we were kids, we would have drafted him because he would catch a pass at least one time a game, and you get points for that. And not only that, when you had the career reception record, they brought this. I don't know where it came from, but growing up near the Hall of Fame, we would go on the weekends. If it rains out, we can't play outside, we're going to Hall of Fame. Here comes this 23-foot statue for Harold 23 feet. It's as tall as a building. Tell us about the statue. This thing, I told Kenny it was 23 feet high and weighed 800 pounds, and it ends up in Canton, Ohio.
Well, the first thing I said, but when they rolled it out, they had it on some dollies and was laying down. And then after I caught the pass and to break the record, and it was against Cleveland.
Of course.
That's when I broke.
Because we're Browns fans.
Yeah, well, no, yeah.
Thank you.
Well, no. But then again, the end of that, Browns beat us that day.
Okay.
And it was like a bittersweet thing for me, But they rolled it out, and they stood this thing. It took a ton of people to stand it up. And the first, I saw it, and then I didn't know if it was for me. And then they said, well, we're presenting this trophy to. The first thing I said, what am I going to do? I couldn't even cut it in half to put in my house. Right. So they broke it down, and they put it up under the steps from where we come down the stairs to go down to the Eagles locker room, and it stayed there for months. And I would see it almost every day sticking out, and also they finally said that the Hall of Fame was going to take it. And I did get an opportunity when we played in the Hall of Fame game, did get an opportunity to see it in the spiral staircase.
Yes.
Now, the past few years I've been asking, where is that trophy? And I've asked Hayden so many times, and we finally found out about it that they don't know where this thing is right now.
What?
It's dismantled or something or whatever. I can't remember.
I told Kenny it was so big it looked like a bunch of coffee tables stacked on top of each other. It's in somebody's kitchen.
Yeah, it could be. But they gave me a replica of it, and that's 6 feet tall. And I have it at my house right now and stuff. That I have a trophy room. That's the first thing you see before you walk into my trophy room.
Kenny, this thing's amazing. So when they give you this trophy and you break that record, did it ever occur to you that might not be the only Harold Carmichael thing in the Hall of Fame, that your bust is going to be there at some point in time?
They never talked about, growing up in the NFL, you never heard about the Hall of Fame. You knew it was there, and I never thought about it. But now you listen to every football game, he's a future Hall of Famer. And I said, why is people like that? And the guy gets cut the next week and stuff. I never heard about. I knew about the Hall of Fame, but I never expected to be here.
Okay.
And that's what made it, well, then up until a certain point when some guys were going in and their numbers weren't as good as my numbers. Mm-hmm. And their numbers was because they threw the ball more than I did. When I played was run, pass. Maybe pass, run, or something like that. But nowadays it's run. It I'm sorry. You pass.
Yeah. Right.
I led the league with 67 catches. They're doing that in a half a season now. They're catching 60-some passes with 8 or 9 games.
Yeah, but 67 catches, that's 12 or 14 games. They're going 17 now.
Yeah, well, it was some 16.
Was okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the first part of the 16-game schedule is, so, you never thought about the Pro Football Hall of Fame back then. There was now every player now is a Pro Football Hall of Famer. Potential.
And how about this? I did the math. 1 out of every 7 catches for you ended up in the end zone. That's what your average was.
Is that
so
right?
About every 7 catches, 7.5 catches, it was a touchdown.
Yeah, well,
79 touchdown. Receiving touchdowns, 590 total receptions in the regular season. So guys are catching 8-10 balls a game now, right? You'd have had touchdown every game.
The targets,
Fantasy football.
Yeah, that's it.
Some guys are 12, 14, 16 targets in one game, and I got targeted maybe 8, 9 times, maybe that much. And this games where I only caught 1 pass. And that's because of coverage and all.
Right.
Double coverage, sometimes triple coverage,
Vermeil's right. He should have thrown to you 100 times.
Well, the defensive side of the ball, they weren't going to let me do that, we had other good, great receivers on the other side, the tight ends, great running back and Wilbert Montgomery, So it was tough for them to just dial in on me all the time.
I have to ask you this question. Do you have a favorite Eagles uniform? Because until I saw the white helmets and some of the highlights today, I forgot about the white. Mm-hmm. Like the Kelly Greens now. You mentioned Saquon jumping backwards. They wore the Kelly Greens that day. Do you have a favorite Eagles uniform?
Well, I started out with just a plain green jersey. no stripes on them at all. And I was saying, wow, this, it just looked like we had practice stuff on. I kind of started liking the stripes when they put them on the shoulders and stuff. And the midnight green and the Kelly green and stuff. I can't remember what green I was in and stuff. But there, I love the white helmets.
It was awesome.
That was awesome. It's, sometimes with the green jerseys and the white helmet, it was pretty cool.
But you had a different helmet because you had the classic plastic double bar, and then you had the half moon when it was metal.
Yeah. Well, you had to keep the guys from putting their elbows in, so
Right?
You wanted to put on something that they couldn't get their hands in, because any kind of way they can, I've had people just, almost karate chop in there trying to get you and stuff, But, players used to, they come with the one bar. Boy, I'm so glad they developed that double bar, and it was pretty cool uniforms back there, and they had the big shoulder pads. A lot of guys are getting hurt, with the dislocated shoulders and all. But in some cases, some guys back in the day, they got hurt with the big shoulder pads. But give me those big shoulder pads any day. They now just got the little thumb.
Right.
They're trying to look pretty, but that's why a lot of these guys are getting hurt.
No knee pads, no shoulder pads.
Well, knee pads, you don't need a knee pad anymore because back in the day you had the turf, and you was, slide on the turf and you needed those knee pads. But some guys don't wear the thigh pad. You get that if you get that deep bruise, a thigh bruise, you start wearing thick thigh pads and stuff, because I've had one with the thick pads that I had.
Okay.
And they said went through that a lot. Yeah.
Hey, let's ask about being in town for the residency program here with the Hall of Fame.
Awesome.
Where you've been, what you've been doing, and how you've enjoyed it. Hayden, I know we see him every once in a while bringing guys over to us, so I know he's taking good care of you. But where have you been?
It's been awesome. The places I've been, the Beacon, that was awesome. I've been in. I can't remember the other place we just went to. Oh gosh, that's a nightclub. That's a country club. I mean, the work that these different companies that they're putting in and helping people out is awesome. And I wish people can, sponsors and contributors can go to these places and see what is being done. I was so impressed. I had an opportunity to deliver boxes and some medications today, and that was so enlightening for me to see what people are going through, the needs that they have. And, a lot of people don't realize what's going on in this city, in this town. And I know they don't know what's going on when they're finding people to help to get their medication, people that can afford medication. Hey, man, I take my hat off to people. Go out and help. A lot of people don't understand. It may be, you may have a lot of money. You're taking care of your immediate family. Hey, extend it a lot, and just people that you don't even know, go out and help them. I've been so impressed with what Hayden and the Hall of Fame has allowed me to do.
Well, we're thrilled that you decided to come back, because this isn't a mandatory thing. They've reached out to everybody, and you chose to come back and be part of it.
They do it every week.
Yeah.
Every week, somebody's coming in here, and that's awesome, for guys to do that. And there's no repeats. There's different guys every time.
Yeah, and what's great for us is we see you, and we ride in the parade too, so we know, right? But that's it. Like, people see you, and that's it. But now, when you're in town, you're out and about. You're part of the community, and so they get to know Harold Carmichael even better.
Right in front of them.
Yeah.
You're shaking their hand. You talk about that waving. That was one of the toughest things in that parade and stuff. That was very tough to do. But now, going out and shaking hands.
Yeah.
And just meeting these people.
Yeah.
Awesome. Totally. And I so my wife asked me today when I went back to the hotel. She said, "Would you do this again?" I say, "In a heartbeat." In a heartbeat, I will do it.
That's awesome.
That's great. Well, Harold, we thank you for spending some of that time here with us. We're turning 100 years old this Sunday, this radio station.
You're not too far away from my age.
100 years old.
Yeah,
and anytime we get a Hall of
congratulations.
Famer in here, it just adds to the legacy of our station, and we're thrilled that you made time on the Kenny and JT
It's always
show.
great that for guys to come in here and just say hello to the Canton, the community, and the Ohio community, how far this reaches out. But it's fun for me to be able to come into a community and give as much as I can. You know, I do it as much as I can in the Philadelphia, New Jersey community, and you know, now you have to kind of, I say, you know, Ron Jaworski, we talk about Ron Jaworski. Ron just called me, and I see his number. I say, okay, Ron, I'm in. You know, he have to ask me.
Right.
Because this guy does so much for the Philadelphia, New Jersey community, man. He just gave away 250-some bikes for kids, and he's doing a gown drive right now for people to donate gowns for girls to be able to go to the proms in gowns, you know. And this guy's awesome. He's awesome.
Well, it sounds
You are
like
too.
Coach Vermeil rubbed off on you guys in a positive way, and you guys
yeah.
have carried it to the next level. So, Harold Carmichael, thanks for being in
Thank
studio
you,
with
guys.
us.
Appreciate you.
Continued success, and anytime you're back in town, you're welcome here at WHBC.
Hopefully we'll be back for induction ceremonies this in August.
All right, sounds
So,
great.
yeah.
There he is, the great Harold Carmichael, class of 2020, spending a few minutes with us here today on the Kenny and JT Show. Back with more right after this.
It's Kenny and JT on WHBC.